Have you set a reading goal previously and failed to achieve it? Maybe you had a target for the number of books you wanted to read, or to read more broadly, or perhaps you wanted to learn something new. Whatever your reading goal is, here are 5 tips to help you make better goals. Number 1, what is your why? Are you passionate about learning something new? Or do you simply read for the pleasure and joy of reading? This is a hobby after all. What fills you with pleasure? Is it the act of reading, being lost in a different place or time, discovering new ideas, or is it discussing books with others, or the accomplishment you feel when finishing a book? Once you know your why and what fulfills you, then build your goal around that, as targeting it in this way will likely mean you have desire, commitment and motivation to continue. At this point, I want to say that reading should be enjoyable, and if setting goals restricts your enjoyment of your hobby, then you don't need to set any goals at all. If, however, you have decided that you do want to set a goal and you know your why, then the second tip is to make sure the goal is specific and measurable. For example, maybe you just want to read more because you love reading and you want to feel the pleasure of completing a book more often. In this instance, you may want to set yourself a specific number of books to read before the end of the year. Maybe you want to read more broadly. Well, in this case, you may set yourself the goal of reading a book from a specific number of different genres by the end of the year. As you can see, we have a specific number which is measurable and a deadline to achieve it by. Now we come to tip number 3. Be realistic. If you're setting yourself a target number of books, for instance, and you read 1 book last year, maybe set a target of 6 to 12, not a target of 100. But how do you know if this target is realistic? Break the goal down. If you say want to read 12 books in a year, that's 1 a month. The average novel is around 350 to 360 pages, so that's about 12 pages a day. Now, I appreciate some genres do generally have higher page counts. Fantasy is a prime example. But this still gives us a useful rule of thumb that the average number of pages you read each day will roughly equate to the number of books you will read in a year. So if you average 20 pages a day, that will equal 20 books read by the end of the year. 50 pages a day, 50 books, 100 pages a day, 100 books, and so on and so on. Next, you have to plan how you are going to achieve this realistic goal. The key thing here is to think about the process, what actions you need to take to achieve this goal. As the saying goes, if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. So this takes us to tip number 4, create positive actions you can take to achieve your goals. These are process goals where you are setting up habits for yourself which will enable you to achieve. Many New Year's resolutions are negative. For example, I am not going to doom scroll before going to bed. Instead, try to set up a positive action. For instance, I am going to read for 10 minutes every night before going to sleep. Again, remember to be specific and realistic. And the 5th and final tip is to track and evaluate. Keep track of how you are doing against your goal. If you are not keeping track of your goals, you will get to your deadline and in all likelihood have failed to achieve what you set out to at the beginning. If you are keeping track, however, then you can evaluate if the goal needs to change. Was it realistic to begin with? Or were you overly ambitious or not ambitious enough? Maybe circumstances have changed in your life or further opportunities have arisen. As the saying, generally and seemingly erroneously attributed to C.S. Lewis goes, you can't go back and make a new start, but you can start right now and make a brand new ending. So, what reading goals are you setting? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.